Welcome to On the Chain. This is Chip, and this video, we got a lot to cover as usual, but Bill Hinman's speech apparently gave market guidance. That's according to the judge, right from their words, and we're going to jump into that, what that looks like. And we have an ex-Rippler, that's right, an ex-Rippler left Ripple and started something pretty cool. We're going to jump into that. And we got a whole bunch more. Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you guys are coming in from. Go ahead and drop it in the chat, drop it in the comments, depending on when you're watching this video. And I wanted to just, before we get deep into it, just the obligatory, go ahead if you want more content like this, like, subscribe, click that notification bell. That way you're notified anytime we go live. Very simple. Click that like, click that subscription button, and then there's that little pesky notification bell. I know a lot of people are saying, hey, Chip, I'm not getting the notifications. That happens. Happened to Jeff the other night. Happens to me. I don't get them. Sometimes they don't land on my phone, but that's sometimes when you know. Our schedule right now is Sunday and Wednesdays at 8 p.m. on Eastern time. That's Miami, New York time. And then we go live also on Saturday mornings right now, 8 a.m. And so I want to jump into a couple of these stories right here. Jeff should be joining any minute now once he gets situated, but he should be joining us and we'll jump through it. And I want to see you guys again. Where are you coming in from? Drop the city, drop the country in there. We have a global audience and we'll be jumping into it all. Everybody's saying good morning. Jim D, what's up? Good morning, OTC crew. Hope you guys have your coffee. If it's a late night, I hope you have your beverage. As the saying goes, it's always 5 o'clock somewhere. And that is true. Somewhere it's always 5 o'clock. And if it isn't, that's our excuse. We'll make the disclaimer. It is 5 o'clock somewhere, and it's perfectly okay to be drinking a mimosa or a Bloody Mary at 8 a.m. in the morning. Jeff, are you ready to come in? You ready to come in? Perfect. All right, Jeff, what's going on, man? How are you?
What is happening?
There he is, man. There he is.
What's
there
going
you are.
on?
Good to see you joining us today, man.
Oh, it's
Look at
great.
that beautiful background.
Look at this beautiful background over here.
I hear the birds chirping in the background there. Look at that.
Hey,
Chirpy
beautiful
chirp.
day. Looking forward to talking a little bit about the XRP and crypto. It's been a little while. I was trying to find a quiet place. Can't really
Birds are always welcome on this channel, Jeff. You know that. We always, it's funny. Sometimes I'll be out walking the dog and there's so many birds in my neighborhood. I don't know why. There's so many birds, and it sounds like I'm in walking through the Amazon. And people inevitably say well, God, where are you? I'm like, just walking my dog in my neighborhood. Like, what's going on with those birds? I'm like, I don't know. But it sounds a little bit like that, but all kinds of exotic birds and squirrels too. Jeff, I was like, this year's old when I discovered that squirrels made a noise. How did I never know that?
They make sometimes they screech.
They go, I always thought it was a bird until I saw it was a squirrel. I'm like, man, I always thought, I did my little BG123 video not too long ago. I probably should dig that up and play that. But guys, let's jump right in here. London, buddy. London's in the house, says Dave Patterson. We have Denmark in the house, Thomas Gann. Look at this.
Man, we have from London to Denmark.
Amsterdam, Holland in the house. Yeah, beautiful, man. Europe is beautiful this time of year. Actually, Europe is beautiful any time of the year, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like a favorite place for us. I love Amsterdam. It's one of my favorite.
Especially go around, Christmas time, and you get the Christmas markets, things like that. It's pretty cool.
Columbus, Ohio. Yeah, Columbus, Ohio. There's always somebody representing from Columbus, Ohio, or Ohio, I would say. Here's the beaches of Thailand, and wow, that's a noisy truck in the background.
That's not a bird.
That's not a bird or a plane or Superman. It's a super truck right there. But we have DNI in the house right here. You guys know LA's in the house. So yeah, everyone's coming in here from all over the place. Of course, Doug's here. He'd love to see an interview with Rohan Gray and the eCash Act. Well, we do have some good interviews coming up, guys. We do have some pretty cool interviews coming up. We'll jump into that too. But we had a lot to cover, so why don't we get to it? This tweet right here, Jeff, was put out by Monica Long. I'm going to go ahead and throw this up here. And pretty interesting. I teased this a little bit in the beginning, but we had an ex-Rippler, two ex-Ripplers left Ripple and started something pretty cool. We have It's called Real Supermojo. And if that's not the coolest name for a company, Jeff, I don't really know what is. Like the Real Super Cool, it's actually a Supermojo is what it is. I think that's just the
And
yeah,
who
there
lost,
it is.
who lost their mojo?
Nobody lost their mojo. It's all Supermojo. So they got Supermojo and making NFTs more accessible. You guys have to go out and go to @RealSupermojo and please go follow this project. It's good. It's bound to be a good one. And they're solving a real problem, which, you see a problem, Jeff, you got to go out there and solve it.
There you go.
We'll jump into it. So Monica Long says, hey, congrats, Supermojo. Ripple's proud to back Amir Arshagi and Crypto Cowboy. You know him better as that's Amir right there. Let's get to him. So he's previously Ripple, Google, CEO, founder of Jibe. And then you have Crypto Cowboy, who is Craig DeWitt. And he spent a long time as head of product over there at Ripple. But there he is right there, founder of Supermojo. And so they just put out a simple tweet, hello world, with the story from Fortune magazine. And what I realized when I retweeted this was it was the paywall version. So he then later, and I was like, okay, I can't see, how come I can only see like 3 sentences? And then we discovered pretty quickly that, so this was in Business Wire, and jump in a little bit. And there's some really good companies, some really good investment organizations behind here. So Supermojo, seed round was led by BH Digital, DRW Venture Capital, Intersection, Neuberger, Berman. Additional, so there's just a lot of players in here. Gemini, Everrealm, Arrington's in there, BlockFi Ventures, Circle, Crossbeam, Draper.
Everybody wants a piece.
Everybody's in here. Draper, FJ Labs, FBG Capital, Redbeard, and of course Ripple. Right? Supermojo announced today the launch of its financing platform designed to make digital assets more accessible for the next wave of users. So you see they're like looking downstream, Jeff. Platform facilitates point of sale financing to improve the NFT purchase experience and collateralizing lending for improved post-sale liquidity. Sounds similar. It's funny how they took some of those concepts from Ripple, right? That liquidity concept for the post-sale. Supermojo's initial focus will be partnering with marketplaces and storefronts to serve the 25 billion with a B, Jeff, NFT market. Of course, that's according to DApp Radar.
Wow, that's impressive. It's good to see when they see an expanding space. When you see new companies popping up, and you have two ex-Ripplers coming over and starting something like this, and their primary emphasis is in the NFT space. There's a lot of FUD out in the marketplace that we've seen, and a lot of that FUD emphasizes NFTs, maybe the fact that the market has turned, and maybe we've seen the end of the NFTs. And in fact, the use case hasn't even really fully revealed itself yet with the full NFT space. These guys are positioning themselves extremely well, and so it's really impressive to continue and see development and growth in new companies opening. I think it shows that we're still young in this space, and there's a lot of runway left.
See that, Jeff? Miss C right there. Good morning, a mimosa for sure with the Shada Quattro in there. What do you got? A little bee buzzing around you there? Looks like a giant hornet, Jeff. Like you were getting attacked by some giant.
Holy crap! Did you see it?
I did. Yeah.
Am I the only one that saw that?
Was that like a bird or something? God. I don't know what that was. Even on the little screen, I was like, people are rewinding to see exactly what happened. I was like, something was dive bombing you there. I don't know if it was a bird or what.
Oh my God. Yeah. Time to relocate. That's what.
Maybe you have to go. Yeah.
Holy cow! That was the biggest bee I think I've ever seen in my life.
Was that a bee? My gosh, I looked at Matt. Look, almost like a small bird.
That's how they grow them here.
I don't know what it was. Yeah.
Holy cow!
It's actually better if you're not backlit, which is always good too. So that's a good thing as well. So yeah. So here we go.
Let me go to a safer place here.
Yeah, go to a safe place.
More flowers, but there's probably even more bees.
And just it says the NFT market needs to welcome new users in order to keep scaling. True statement. NFT marketplaces and storefronts have yet to offer the best payment methods most people are familiar with when buying online. Buy now, pay later experiences are critical to excellent checkout experiences. And, you know, that's something that's become a norm in almost any you buy now, or you pay a quarter of it and then you pay installments through third parties. And really with the NFT, there's really nothing covering that space.
Right.
And this is what Mr. Sahanji said. He said, the team at Supermojo is committed to providing more seamless, intuitive, accessible NFT purchasing, financing, and custody experience for the next wave of users. And that's the other part too, is that part is a little bit complicated because it's bifurcated. There's a lot of different platforms out there, and it's all over the place. So they're trying to bring in unity. And it's like, okay, you're novel, you don't really know how to do it, Jeff, and you're like, okay, so what do I do? And then so they built custody into this equation as well, because I think that's tough too. People are like, what do I do with the NFT, and how do I keep it safe in a wallet?
Yeah, that's it. I think they're definitely onto something. The big limitation that I've always seen in crypto as well as the NFT space is trying to get mass adoption. Mass adoption means ease of use. Ease of use means having a platform that you can log into, that you can rely on, and they'll simplify the process. And so I think, within one of the things they're really honing in on here is there are, multiple platforms, and now we're going to see, multiple, types of NFTs. Some are going to be ETH based. Some are going, they're going to all have, a different base that they're rolling out on. So how do you now simplify that? If I want one marketplace and I want to just buy NFTs, I don't care if it's an ETH NFT or a XRPL based NFT. Was that the XRC20 or whatever the new what was it, XLS20? So what, as just an average consumer, do you really care if it's XLS20 or ERC20 or whatever the basis might be? You just know that you want to get your NFT, especially as this changes and it goes from just the art world to maybe getting your NFT to authenticate your product that you purchased. So let's say you buy a product that needs to be authenticated. Do you really care, what the basis of that NFT is? You don't. You just want to simplify the process. So I think these guys are onto something that brings about mass adoption on a large scale, which is impressive and exciting at the same time.
Yeah, and Jeff, it ties in. What you just said ties in perfectly to what Craig DeWitt's pull quote in this article is. And it simply is that digital goods will be the largest market in the world. So extremely important to provide an experience that's accessible to all people, especially those without crypto expertise. Supermojo's checkout, financing, and lending infrastructure lowers the barrier of entry for new users and moves us closer to a future of frictionless digital ownership. And it's
like that. It's
funny because when you hear about it, it makes terminology. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And you're like, okay, that sounds pretty good. And on the heels of that, Jeff, so I wanted to
Chip, Chip, what's funny? They used in that just one word, frictionless ownership, was everything that took me like 20 minutes to say.
But sometimes that's how it works, Jeff. That's our job here, is to bloviate for for at least 40 minutes to an hour. We got to fill every time, and when you're doing the show solo, as you have and I have this past week, it's people realize that you have to continually be talking. And if I were to pause, people go like, "Oh, what's wrong? Wait, there's something wrong with the stream. There's something wrong with it." Like, you have to fill every second of it. But look at this. This is exciting, Jeff. And we already shared this. But so let's go back to Monica Long's tweet right here. Let me get into this. Hang on a second here. Let me frame this up really nice here. But let's go back to this. Here it is right there.
One more time.
No worries, Jeff. So here it is right here. Congrats. This is to Amir and Craig for starting it. Good luck. Hello, world. And then so Craig jumped in and said, thanks, Monica Long. Really appreciate it, Craig DeWitt. And I said, way to go, Craig. We would love to have you on our podcast On the Chain to discuss thoughts. And he said, of course, Jordan Harry came in and said diamonds right there. So his thoughts, where were his thoughts? Good golly, Miss Molly. I'm gonna have to. This is why Twitter is just an absolute. And I just sometimes don't even. Hang on a second. Let me do it this way. There we go. Thing is you know where the comment is, but there's so many of them. Here it is. Way to go, Craig. Love to have you on the chain. Thoughts?
Perfect.
Chimed in with, let's set it up. Awesome. I'll DM you. So I've already been in process. So we're going to get Craig DeWitt on here. We're going to talk about supermojo. We're going to have him on here, I think, in 2 weeks' time. We've got another guest coming up, which is also going to be exciting. Another big Ripple partnership that we want to break down. And we talked about it, but just want to make sure we can confirm it before we go talk about it. But yeah, it's super exciting to get Craig on the chain. So there'll be that. Really excited about that piece of it.
Nice. I've relocated myself here, Chip. No matter where I go, there are bugs.
Well, that's kind of like the way it works, man.
I can't escape these bugs.
See, that's
there
why
were no
people
bugs out this morning. Now all of a sudden there's bugs.
That's why people in Florida, I have a, my pool area is encased with a cage of just total screening.
Yeah.
People are like, what is that for? I'm like, well, that's because there are no bugs and you don't have to worry about. You can just enjoy yourself, especially at night. You want to take a little, a little night dip, and then you go. So this one here. So what happened yesterday? I actually woke up at 2 a.m. Went on, turned on the live stream. There's a big meetup, an XRP meetup in Japan.
Wow. And we missed that, Chip. We didn't.
Well, it notice. Yeah, well, it was happening at 2 a.m. I just happened to wake up. I turned it on, and the live stream. It said it was going until 5 p.m., 5 or 6 o'clock Japan time, and it was like 4 o'clock Japan time when I turned it on. There were a bunch of people on the live stream, but there was like nothing. It wasn't working. It was just spinning, and nothing was showing. There were a few people in the chat. Those
are the best live streams, Chip. When you have connectivity issues, and
we've been there, Jeff. We have been there.
Definitely been there with technical glitches.
But no worries, because Moonchaser, it was there, and she she just said, I'm nerding out, learning and updates on all things XRP Ledger at the XRP Meet-Up Japan 2022. And there's a shot of it right there, and there's none other than Joel Katz, at Joel Katz, better known as David Schwartz, in the background. I don't know what happened to the shelf, but he's been doing some cleaning. I don't know if he's leaving that shelf. I don't know. It used to be filled with books, as I recall, but maybe I don't know. Maybe people could help us out in the chat there. I seem to remember there were a lot of books on there. Yeah. But I remember those 2 printers in the background. But this is weird. He's got like these things just kind of somewhat offset on the shelves. It's like, I don't know what he's talking about, but I immediately go to the shelves, Jeff. Like, what's going on?
What are we looking at back here? What is this? What is this that we're looking at?
This is a shot from the XRP Meetup Japan 2022. Moonchaser was there, as I mentioned.
Where are the bookshelves we're looking for?
That's in the. You can't see it, but it's on the screen because it's probably too small. See, if you had like an iPhone, Jeff, you'd probably have perfect clarity. You could see that that's David Schwartz on a giant screen, and in the background, he's got.
Let's see if I can zoom in. Oh, look at that! I can zoom in. Oh, there he is.
See him?
Oh, look at that! Wow, look at that.
Yeah,
now so that's an impressive meetup. They brought him in through. Look at that! They have him up on the big screen.
Yeah, it was.
Nice.
It was probably like it was nighttime here, so it's nighttime in Japan right now. Actually, it's late there right now.
Nice. They're 12 hours ahead of us.
12 hours ahead. So
13. Might be 13.
I don't know what the daylight savings time always screws me up on everything. But look at this, Jeff. Look at this next picture here. There you go. So there's 2022, and you see there's Moonchaser along with Crypto Eddie and somebody in a I don't know what's going on with the face there, but that's cool. Looks like diamond face, Jeff. I don't know.
It does look something like that. It's a samurai. Diamond face samurai.
It's so funny. Look at the name check. It's at Moonchaser. You got Moonchaser there.
Yep.
You just got simply Eddie on her right there. And so that's pretty cool. So they're at the meetup there.
Nice.
Thought that was pretty cool. And then we have, what else do we have from the thing? And of course, Crypto Eddie tweeted this one out. Fun to see people learn new things. The XRP meetup. This is Cha-Cha Samurai in the middle there.
There we go.
Then we got Moonchaser. Cha-Cha Samurai. Well, I don't. That's somebody else. The last person was not Cha-Cha Samurai. That was somebody else. Unless she did a quick change, Jeff. But who knows? I mean, I can't 100% verify that. But I'm doubtful. But Cha-Cha Samurai is there as well. And you have Moonchaser. Love these fun names, Jeff. We're just Very Jeff cool. and Chip. Very boring. Yeah. Just kind of ridiculously boring, right?
We're going to have to change
Samurai.
that up.
Cha-Cha Jeff.
Yeah.
Moonchip. Moonchip and Cha-Cha Jeff. There you go. Cha-Cha Jeff. Cha-Cha Cha. Cha-Cha Cha-Cha Cha, right?
Simply Chip.
Simply Chip. Moonchip.
Moonship.
Moonship and Cha-Cha Jeff.
Just Jeff.
Just Jeff, and yeah, it's like just
and
Jeff
Moonship.
and Chip, and yeah, so I love that as well. And then we've
Moonship.
got and then there was this I'm not going to play this, but this was a cool little video. We don't need to turn on the sound, but you can kind of imagine what's happening here. But let's jump this on here.
All right.
And this was so there were monks in virtual reality, and I saw Moon Chaser tweet something on there. But here's the there was a little. She put a little bit. She was filming the screen, I guess.
Oh, there we
this
go.
was this was a VR presentation here. So you had the monks were and writing in. It's funny because I can hear the drums in my headset here.
Okay.
And what you see in the background is they're doing this in VR. So they were writing this XRP Meet-Up in VR.
Oh, that's very
cool.
cool.
It was kind of cool, and you're seeing what the monk is seeing with the head, with the with the metaverse sort of thing on there.
Now,
so
are those real monks? Or are those virtual reality monks?
No, those are real monks. I mean, I believe. I could be wrong, but I'm not sure that that's really. Yeah. But anyway, I thought it was pretty cool as well. It was like pretty cool to see that. Then we had what else we have there?
That's pretty cool.
And then from Emi Yoshikawa, and we all know her as a Rippler, and she's the she's Web3 and crypto. But I wanted to throw this up here because I thought this was extremely cool. She was talking about. Let me see if I can get these tweets in order first. Let me see here. Yep. Yeah, let me put this one first. They're kind of out of order here. So let's do this here. So Emmy tweeted this out right here. The long-awaited Cryptobar. This is another Cryptobar opening in Japan right here. So check this out. These are cool pics, man.
Look at all the things we're missing out on here, not being in Japan.
This looks like a cool place to hang out, Jeff. We had that.
Check that out.
We had that crypto pub up in West Palm where I did that famous video where I went head-to-head with a Bitcoin maxi, and we discussed all the finer points, but that place closed down.
Well, that was expected. After we saw how they treated the customer.
Yeah, and how they treated Ripple and XRP and how they viewed that. Not a good thing.
Exactly.
They'd eventually pay no.
Wasn't going to last.
But there it is right there. Here's another one here. But check this place out. It just looks like fun, man. It looks like just a cool place you want to go hang. And then if you notice here, it looks like they got these two I don't know if those are digital screens, if those are in the background, but it looks like NFTs of some kind.
Look like NFTs. Look at it. I wonder if those are all digital, big digital screens with that dog on it, or is that a printed version of their NFT?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I mean, it's hard to know in a still shot.
Yeah,
but very, but it's cool.
Very cool. Look at
There's
that QR code there, so you can pay for your drink.
Somebody can scan that to see what that is. What does that do exactly? Let's see if I can scan that.
They just stole your crypto.
There it goes, Jeff. And what is it here? Let's see. What does it go to?
Can you embed viruses into a QR code?
That's kind of demon talk right there, Jeff. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm just wondering. Just in the general sense. You scan it, it's basically just a link, and then you open the link, and boom, that's it.
That is the good point. That's a good point there. So here's where the link takes you right here. Let me throw this up here. And
you have an option you can open. I guess it gives you an option what to open. Here, let's see where it takes us.
There it is right there. So there's the audio token distributor.
Look at
I don't know
that.
what that is. There's a wallet of some kind right there, and there's another
Deposit
one. NFT wallet.
Here. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Audio token distributor. I'm not sure what that is, but it's at sushitop.io.
Click the link and see what happens.
Put your Ethereum address in. What? Let's see. What's this one? Is this something you can play? No. I don't know. It's another wallet thing. It must be something. That? It must be something for what was on. Or it just says wallet.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wallet, and one's a wallet, regular wallet. One's an NFT wallet. And
maybe it's for tips or something like that, or if you want to buy an NFT, or probably
it might have had something
to do.
Yeah, it might have had something to do with what was on screen as well.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yep.
But I'm wondering if
send a tip to the artist.
It's at sushitop.io. That's just a link there. So there's not much going on over that one there.
Very cool. Yeah, man, Japan is always so much further ahead of where we're at, no matter what.
Yeah,
we've always been a little bit further ahead. Yeah.
Everybody is, Jeff. The entire world is. Pick a small island nation, with a population of like 20,000 people, further ahead. Everything is further ahead. And it's good to know that the U.S. is dragging behind because of knuckleheads we have here running the show. But this we're here, she said, with Cryptobar P2P, I thought that I couldn't use XRP, so I negotiated with the owner and asked him to accept XRP payment. The first XRP payment complete.
Wow.
XRP holders, you can now make XRP payments with Cryptobar P2P. Let's go. And there's the there you have it right there.
But what's the purpose? What is it?
Payments at the Cryptobar.
Oh, at the Cryptobar. Oh, so you can buy your drinks with XRP at the Cryptobar. Yep.
Nice. But Emi Yoshikawa was saying you couldn't, but she negotiated with the owner, and guess what? Now you can do it. Of course, she's covering up the details over there, but here we go, or whoever that is.
So initially, the owner might have been a Bitcoin maxi, and then he had a change of heart.
It says, look at this here. So also it says, now you can use XRP for payments. The Cryptobar in Tokyo. Be sure to check it out when you visit Tokyo. Wheat's a win. Sweet. And the bar staff, they love the Zum wallet. Nice.
I like it.
That's pretty cool.
Dude, that's awesome. I mean, you go there, take $100 in XRP, and go have a nice evening out. Spending XRP.
I'm not spending my XRP, Jeff. Sorry about that. I'm just not.
Well, no, you can buy XRP specifically for the purpose of the use at the bar.
Not happening, dude. Not me. Not me. I'm not doing it. I'm not. But I understand the sentiment, though. Yeah, I mean, obviously. So at the crypto bar, and this is one of those, overheard. You ever see those tweets? Overheard. I used to do those a lot because I would hear all kinds of weird stuff. You would say overheard, and then you would whatever somebody said. So at the crypto bar, there were multiple voices saying, "I use XRP to transfer funds between exchanges." We asked the crypto bar to start accepting XRP payments this time. But businesses are happy that XRP can complete payments in a few seconds. There's no risk of any volatility. And it says translated to being of eaten away, but
few seconds and also limited cost. I think that's a really important point. Yeah. So think about from the business's perspective, if you're paying with your credit card, they're getting charged typically, let's say around 3%. So if they ask, hey, can you please use crypto only and primarily XRP, that transaction cost is going to be applied to whoever's sending it, but it's going to be minimal. Think about all the amount of, think about all the money saved in that regard. If a business said, hey, can you please, I'm only going to accept XRP from now on. Here's the exchange you can buy your XRP on. That's a lot of savings right there. They're not paying their 2.93% transaction costs on their credit cards.
Good point. Doug had a question here saying, is anybody, let me see here, where is it? Oh boy, here we go. Anybody buying more PAC nodes? So PAC officially put out a tweet yesterday that they are part of Flare. So they finally got integrated with Flare. Yeah, we were just talking, Jeff and I were talking about that yesterday. So look, I mean, if you believe in the project and you believe that it's something good, and again, it has to have the utility, but again, they are integrated with Flare.
What's the cost of a node at this point?
Doug, could you throw that in there? Could you figure that out and throw it in there what the cost of a node is today? Because I think you needed 500K a pack to open one up. But go ahead.
Because it used to be like 4,000, right? It went up to about $4,000.
It's about $150 to run a node today.
Is it?
Maybe less. I'm not sure.
Was it 4,000 before, or was it 8,000?
Yeah, well, I think it got as high as $8,000 or $10,000 at one point at the height. So there you go. And then, you're earning PAC every single time. So if you could toss that in there, Doug, if you could do the math right there, it's $250 right now is what it costs to, thank you.
Man, it'd be worthwhile to pick up a couple nodes.
You pick up a couple nodes. Exactly. You pick up, so you can either double down and get a couple nodes, and, for $1,000, you can buy 4 nodes. Cost you about $20 a month for the virtual, I forget what that thing is called. But yeah, it's a possible thing right there. Yeah,
that's right. We have to run the virtual server.
Right? So it's 500,000. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, but again, I mean, it's on sale. People were going mad when it was at 3,000 to run one. When it was 4,000.
So where do you get PAC now? I know you can get PAC on BitTrue.
BitTrue is one of the places. Right. I know that PAC put that up there. I know. I should have thrown the tweets up there. You just see so much stuff. It's hard to put it all. Let's see. Let me look at the PAC. Let's go to their official Twitter account here. I'll pull this up. Let's go ahead and look at it.
And do you
Here
still
we
need
go.
500,000
Yep.
to get a node, or did they change that?
500K is the same. Yep, 500K. Here it is right here. So PAC Protocol verified validator for Flare networks. You'll be able to delegate your Flare to our validator and get a share of PAC. You get a pair of the rewards. So there it is right there. It's approved as a FTSO. I always forget what that stands for. I hate that because I never know what that means. FTSO. For the life of me, can never remember that. But there you go. There's the official tweet right there. You can get it on.
Looks like we're picking up a couple of PAC nodes.
You got BitTrue official. Yeah, why not? Bitmart, StakeCube, GraviX, and MEXC Global is where you can get PAC today. There they are right there. Of course, BitTrue is probably the easiest place to get it. There you go right there. But there's all the places you can get it. And let's see, right, mandatory network updates. You have to update your mainnet. So everyone's got to do that. So they also came out with this too. Spend less on your PAC transfers, updating your wallet to version 0.17. You'll enable a new fee structure and update now and spend 99.99% less fee. So they pretty much wiped a lot of that fee stuff out of there. And they're just less for your transfers, which is really cool. And they're doing a lot of cool stuff too, especially this one here, Jeff. This Syntropic agroforestry in East Africa. PAC Protocol and Edible Forest partnered up with Roland Van Reenen to create food forests around the world in this episode. So it's a cool thing right there. And that's kind of like getting back more to the roots and what they were doing. And then there was this one here that I wanted to mention, which is the testnet. This came out back in March, but exclusive active contributors receive an exclusive NFT in PAC Protocol. Join the testnet, receive. So there you go, right there. Something that's pinned up there, but good stuff all the way around, man.
Yeah, I like that. You know, it's amazing. Again, seeing more development, more progress. But you know what? You know, it kind of brings another thought to mind in regards to Flare. So July 4th. Was a big drop date for Flare, and we never really gave a full, you know, update on what was going on. I never really saw any type of, you know, announcements, or I haven't seen a lot of discussion over it.
Flare's been basically popping tweets mostly every single day, but I have. See, one of the things that I will give.
There's not a lot of discussion over it.
I've seen a lot of discussion over it.
Have you seen it?
I have.
I haven't. I haven't seen much discussion.
Well, I will tell you, you know, the pro way to navigate Twitter, in my opinion, is you got to build lists, because when you have tens of thousands of, if you have like so many people that you're following, it becomes noise. So you have to you want to filter the signal versus the noise. And Chip's recommendation of the day here is build yourselves a list. I have a Ripple list. That's just all Ripplers. Anybody is in my Ripple list. So I have everybody who works at Ripple, ex-Ripplers, and I can see what's going on with Ripple. Then I have an XRP list, everything dealing with XRP. Then I've got a major crypto list. Then I've got a projects list. Then I've got a Bears and Riddler list. And that's where Baba Cugs is on there, along with a lot of other things going on over there. Is where I keep that. But you know, it's important to have these lists available. Mine are all private because
and join us live tomorrow as Chip gives us a full hour Twitter tutorial.
I'm just saying, guys, if you want signal versus noise, do that. But then every once in a while I'll jump into that big mosh of all the other stuff. And then of course there's another one. I just have so many lists, and that's the way you navigate it. To see exactly what you're honing in on, especially a projects list. And I also have an NFT list, and I have a DeFi list, and so it's this way you go into, hey, I want to see what's going on in this world. And Flare, I also have a Flare list, Jeff, and that's all things, and that's why I'm seeing chatter on it, and that's why I think you're probably not seeing it. But the actual tokens are going to get dropped until September, so we'll start receiving that. Now, here's a little caveat what people aren't realizing. Because I see there's IOUs being sold on BitTrue, but here's the thing, and this is what Hugo Filan commented on. When it comes to Flare, you have to delegate it to be able to receive the rest of your tokens. So you have to be able to delegate it. And I like this a smart move, because people trying to just sell it and dump the coin, go ahead and dump it. if somebody purchases that coin, they're going to get the cash of, you want to go out and sell it up in the open market, you want to dump it, great. So the person who ends up with your XRP, or I mean your Flare token, the way I understand it, I think Mickey B. Fresh explained this, but you have to delegate it. So guess what? You have to get involved with the project. It's not like you're just going to get something for free and you're going to go just sell it out the back door. It's a smart move because it creates stability. And this is something that Flare, I believe, and Hugo, this is why I believe there's great leadership over there, Jeff, just because they've thought through a lot and people are upset and like, it's taking forever. It's like, yeah, if you want to do it right, it takes forever. If you are the Ethereum Foundation and you launch a token that's not ready and you take 6 years trying to fix it, not a good strategy. Yeah, you're first to market. Yeah, you have that name brand recognition. But what we are seeing, Jeff, is that is diminishing as time goes on. People are using it less. People are using, they're using Matic more and more. They're using these they're using better options, and Flare is a better option. They'll also have interoperability with, if you want to use a smart contract in Ethereum, great, chain interoperability. So that's it.
Yeah, which is, and that's critical. You know, as the space develops with all the different, you know, protocols out there, having interoperability, and, you know, who is it, you know, that brought that, you know, that idea up, you know, early on, which was Ripple with RippleNet. You know, and interoperability is key, you know, especially between all the different assets. So if we're going to go between protocol, you know, obviously we want interoperability between protocol. That's one of the things that we really liked about Flare. You know, as they've reached out, they've also given use case to Dogecoin, which never really had a full use case, which is also important. And we're going to see more and more projects, you know, building in and around, you know, what's going on right now. And that's impressive too. But interoperability is king at this point.
So this one here, I want to address this one here. So former Ripple advisor got Senate approval. This is Barr, who is going to be overlooking. He's going to be looking at the Fed. And I said this the other night. This is the fox watching the hen house. Okay. This is one of their own watching. Like, I mean, it's the most ridiculous thing. Yeah. And just like a lot of other former Ripplers have erased their two, and I'm not going to get into names, but two of them have bios at other organizations. No mention of Ripple. No mention of Ripple on their LinkedIn. No mention whatsoever. And this person was an architect behind one of the worst legislation pieces in the last 25 years, and that was Dodd-Frank. So that's who that person is right there. Do I have high hopes for it? Not at all. Will I be pleasantly surprised? Would love to be, but just knowing how history works and how history repeats, I don't have high hopes. But again, I'm trying to be as optimistic as possible and hoping that people can change. And because spending time at Ripple makes them see the light and say, hey, this is a great thing. I want to throw this up there, Jeff. John Deaton with the absolute, this is the mic drop of all mic drops, if I can say so. So John was asked the question, why would you and 68,710 XRP holders ask to be Amici Akuri and not let in the Ripple attorneys to handle it all? Want to hear the answer?
No, I'd love to hear his answer.
We didn't rely on Ripple or its management team when acquiring XRP, so we're not relying on Ripple or its defense team to protect our XP. Boom!
That's nice. That's awesome. Who wrote that? Who wrote that question?
I don't know. Somebody asked Deaton the question. This is John Deaton's tweet. Somebody asked him like, hey, how come you didn't have support from Ripple? He's like, because we didn't have support from Ripple or its management when we acquired XRP.
That's awesome.
This might be
statement.
We may have to put this up there with the Jeremy Hogan tweet and call this one, you know, a co-tweet of the year, because this one here
that is awesome.
Is absolutely.
Let's frame that and turn it into an NFT. That'll have a ton of value once the case is over. There you go.
It's just mic drop moment.
That's a beautiful NFT right there.
Yeah, or just turning into the we have to put a spot on our website for the we'll just call it the OTC Hall of Fame tweets.
There we go. That's what we need.
We need to put that. We're gonna do that. We'll put a page up, and we'll just we see these cool tweets. You can just cycle through them, and you can see what we deem the XRP. And we'll do it by year.
All right, let's do that. I like that. Yeah, perfect. 2022. Yeah, OTC Tweet Hall of Fame.
Tweet Hall of Fame, and then you had this one here. So Jimmy Filan dropped this. This was the transcript from the June 7th hearing, And of
I think
course,
this is pretty big right here.
Jeremy Hogan right here dropped this right here. Attorney Filan got the transcript of the hearing from June 7th, and my old abused ears did not deceive me, says Jeremy Hogan. The SEC attorney really did say that Hinman's speech provided the market SEC guidance. The gambit has completely fallen apart for the SEC in regarding the fair notice defense. And there it is right there. The purpose was to provide guidance to the market on legal issues before the SEC. And basically, Director Hinman was giving the market the views on how the SEC would treat digital assets under the security laws. Thoughts on that, Jeff?
Well, just as we've been saying from day one, you know, the SEC has been on the wrong side of this. The SEC has really stepped in it. They've, you know, it's amazing to me because they run around with their shoes tied together and they're tripping all over themselves. They're the ones who brought this lawsuit. So if they're the ones who brought the lawsuit, you know, they should have been very well prepared for it. And it's amazing to me, you know, how much of this is just being flung right back in their face. But this is what happens, you know, when you single out retail holders, when you're doing what's detrimental to the market, and you're not looking out for the market's interest. You're looking out somehow, you know, maybe for career path interest, or, you know, maybe there's some other purpose in mind here. But man, I think that is huge. That's really a huge outcome overall, because they kept denying. And look what happened.
Yeah, and then so he followed up with that tweet with, in other words, the SEC tried to have it both ways, and instead got it no ways. Like when you're cheating on your girl and they both find out, and then you have no girl. It's great. That's what I love about Jeremy. It's like Jeremy Hogan always puts things in a really good perspective. I love his sense of humor. And here we have, this is CNF says that poor attorney was a deer in headlights. She might not even remember saying that. Yeah, I don't know where it came from. It was completely out of the blue.
Oh my God.
Jungle chimed in and said, I'm assuming that actually not great overall to have that on the record. They can settle with Ripple, but the next crypto project will likely latch onto that statement. I would assume. Does it work like that? Can someone use a court transcript in another case? Jeremy Hogan said, sure can. Words matter in court, and they do last forever. Correct.
As much as the SEC tries to bury it, they're going to try to run from it, hide it. They're going to try to get it stricken from the record. They try everything. Yeah, I mean, it's just
right. They're acting more like the defendants here, Jeff. They're acting like they're the defendants. They're the ones who brought the case. They're the prosecutor. I mean, come on. This is why I say this is actually a fun part of the movie. You know, where the protagonist and antagonist, where things start moving the other way, and all of a sudden the hero shows up and just destroys the opposition. And this,
you really have to wonder what the outcome is going to be now. I mean, imagine, you know, they've stepped in it big time. I still don't believe there'll be settlement. I think they're so, you know, stubborn and hard-headed at this point that they're not going to seek settlement. They believe they're on the right side of this thing, and they're going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And this is one that's going to go down in the history books as probably one of the biggest lost cases by the SEC due to their own folly. You know, a case they never should have brought to begin with.
And Jeff, let's go back to our channel, and let's go back to December of 2020 when you and I started breaking down the complaint, the 70 odd pages or 80 pages, whatever it was. And when you and I both came to the conclusion of this is absolutely ridiculous, and the upside may be getting clarity faster than Congress or anybody else can act. And guess what? We're a year and a half, almost 2 years into this, and that still holds true. We still probably will end up with clarity well before those knuckleheads in Congress do anything. So DNI has a great statement here. He says, this is what happens when you can't keep your lies straight. That is so
exactly right.
On point. Alchemist says, John Deaton is my hero. I think he's all of our heroes. And I wanted to, Jeff, it's interesting that you would say that about the settlement, because John Deaton had this tweet. He said, I see people saying that Ripple won't settle now. Gary Gensler, if Gary Gensler called Mary Jo White is an ex-SEC, but she's also one of the lead attorneys. She's, you know, helping out as far as on the Ripple. She's on the Ripple side. And if Ripple called, or in other words, Gary Gensler called Mary Jo White and said, hey, pay $100 million, admit you sold the security between 2013 and 2015, and we'll declare all ongoing and future sales of XRP as non-securities. Brad Garlinghouse would write that check immediately.
Exactly.
But Jeff, let's break this tweet down to, I see what John's saying here, because the people saying they won't settle, that's us, Jeff.
That's us.
You know why?
Yeah. The SEC will never make that statement.
Because of this right here.
Yeah.
Pay 200 million, pay $1 billion, pay whatever. But here's the part, and Garlinghouse said he would absolutely settle, but he said, and we will declare all ongoing future sales of XRP as non-securities. Oh, well, that just destroys all their enforcement pillar for going forward.
That's it. Yeah, I think, if they come out a statement like that, and just like, that question to John D or to Hogan, will those words matter in the future? Can that be used in future cases? And he said the answer is yes. And so the same will be held true here. So if the SEC is going to come out and make a statement like that, I don't see it. I mean, they're way too deep into this thing. There's no way that the SEC, and 100%, wrong on this, but I just think just from human nature, they're too deep into this thing. They're too stubborn, unless there's a complete changeover of the SEC at this point. I don't see Gary Gensler, changing course on this. He's made his statements, he's made his bed, and that's it. There's no turning back at this point, because that means he can't even save face, because if he made a statement like that, that'll be it. That'll be the end. That'll take all the fangs out of the SEC, and that ruins his pillars of enforcement, like you said, which was his motto coming into this thing.
That was his mantra, and that's where so the other statement he had here was Ripple. So he wrote a whole tweet thread, which is awesome. We're not going to get into the whole thing, but he says Ripple isn't going to not settle so that the overall crypto market gets a favorable ruling. Yeah, I don't think that either. They're going to do what's in the best interest of Ripple and their shareholders. Remember, they're shareholders. They have over $300 million invested into Ripple, not the crypto market. Plus, there's no guarantee Ripple will do better than that with the judge's ruling. There's way too many variables, and he goes ahead and breaks them down. But what I believe here is, you have the SEC now coming out with these climate disclosures that they're telling companies and forcing companies to. First of all, that has nothing to do at all with the with what's happening with their mission statement. Their mission statement: capital formation, protecting investors. There's nothing about climate disclosure. So they're going to put this burden on small businesses to go ahead and invest all this money to prove, and they're doing all the right things, ESG stuff, which I find to be, and this right here is the saving grace. The Supreme Court curtails EPA's authority to fight climate change. And it's not about the climate. It's about overreach. And the whole idea of this was the court agreed with states that in coal companies that the U.S. Court of Appeals in the District of Columbia was wrong when it interpreted the Clean Air Act to give the EPA expansive power over carbon emissions. The decision written by John Roberts was handed down. They had two conflicting sets of regulations, neither of which was in effect. Bottom line is you can't delegate authority to a regulatory body. And guess what? Guess what else that applies to, Jeff? If there's not something on the books, you can't go and write legislation. You just can't say like, well, let's create guidelines and this and that. Based on what? Based on laws that are on the books that are passed by Congress. Exactly. This is a huge ruling.
You can interpret. That's it.
Yeah, and I was going to read pieces of the ruling, but I think too there's another. Now, originally I had tweeted this out like well said, because I said great, but then I came to kind of rethink this a little bit. John Deaton put a tweet out that said Clayton will go down as the greatest lost opportunity of all time. With him, Elad Roisman, and Hester Peirce, they had the votes to get it done. They could have passed a safe harbor, giving companies like Ripple guidance with set markers to meet in 5 years and watched innovation flourish. However, based on what? What kind of guidelines? This goes back to the EPA ruling of delegating out, authority of there is no clear legislation on this. It's all new. So they're going back to 1940s rules. So I'm not exactly 100% sure. I'm not convinced that they could create that kind of guidance. Yeah, they could have put it in place, but based on what?
Well, that's a great point. That's a good point. And maybe it would have been based off of the how we test. It would be temporary, but I think you bring up a solid point. I think what we're seeing now with the Supreme Court is that they are going after the rulings of what is actual law. You know, what can, like you said, what can be delegated, what can't be delegated, you know, how it can be applied. And so we're kind of in an interesting position right now, you know, and they did have that lost moment, but truthfully, you know, Gary Gensler had it right when he in one of his statements, and he said, hey, you know, if Congress wants to make the law, you know, it's up to them. You know, they're the ones that write it. You know, so he's just there to enforce it. With a lack of law on the books, Gary Gensler is going to do what Gary Gensler does. And so I think that's, you know, and Deaton pointing that out brings up that same exact path. So they did have that missed opportunity. They could have written guidance, but that guidance is only as good as the paper it's written on, and really has to be backed up by legislation passed through Congress. And that's it. You know, and what are we seeing? There again, you know, Congress, both the House and the Senate, tripping over themselves, you know, over crypto legislation.
By the way, Jared says he loves that rocking chair, Jeff. That rocking chair that you're rocking on.
Dude, this thing's amazing.
It's a rocking chair, man.
It is. It's amazing.
Wendy O, who is a podcaster out there, John Deaton was on her show, and I like that she's become another voice out there. She's got a pretty solid following, and I've also seen her as a voice on other, you know, mainstream interviews as well. But she came out with this. She said, look, love or hate XRP, Ripple is essentially fighting for our entire industry. I can respect that. I chimed in with everyone in crypto should respect it also if they indeed understand the consequence, because the consequence is, you know, is detrimental to the entire community. I mean, losing something like that is not going to go down well, man. Yeah. Not going to go down well at all.
Agreed. Oh, Chip, look at the time.
It is getting late. I just wanted to cover one more. Let's see if I can. Oh, man. There's one more I wanted to get at. By the way, guys, there's so many more stories we don't dig into. That's why you want to go to onthechain.io and scroll to the bottom. You can put your email in there. We don't spam. We don't sell it. It's we believe in freedom. We believe in privacy. So the only thing you'll do is get an email from us when a show wraps. You'll get all the stories that are available that we email out at the end of the show, and also where you can, especially if you missed the show, you can all the places you can listen to the podcast if you're like taking us on the go, or you can actually watch the show. So it's helpful in that manner right there. And I wanted
on the chain.io.
On the chain.io. So
soon there'll be a OTC Twitter Hall of Fame.
Jeff. Twitter Hall of Fame. We'll throw that up there. Look at this right here. Just one last one. Crypto Wolf said Fox Business covers, because they Alan Arteret and Charles Gasperino put out a really cool article on this whole thing, covering it.
That article was killer. That was a great article.
Right, it was fantastic. And Fox Business covers the XRP lawsuit consistently and professionally. Really makes you wonder why CNBC isn't covering it, considering they're also big on crypto, and the Ripple case affects the entire industry. And this is a beautiful statement by Charlie Gasperino. He says, the answer is it might be too complex for them to unpack all the nuances. Jeez. And, you know, this is coming from Charlie Gasperino. I think he left CNBC in 2010 or 2011. He used to be over at CNBC, but that's a nice, that's a pretty good burn on his last network over there, right?
Statement. You got to love it. That's awesome.
Yeah. So you guys can find all these stories, and the ones we didn't even get to, they'll all be over there on the chain.io. And of course, you know, subscribe to that. And of course, you also have the option to, if you want to support us, the best way you guys can support us, if you're watching this on the replay, or you watch any of our videos, support the sponsors, the people that you know, you say like, how do I support you? Yeah, sit through the messages. A lot of times they're tailored to the things you've clicked on before, you like. They're short little messages, you know, the advertisers that appear into the channel. That's another way to support the channel. Hit that.
Cool too.
The other thing you can do, which is really good, is go ahead and click on that click that subscription button, and then click on that bell, because that helps too. Helps the algorithm for the channel, and it gets us out there. So if you watched a couple other podcasters and streamers in the space, they can suggest it to other people, and that's how it works. Very complex. The bottom line is they'll suggest to people. We've had a lot of new people, influx of new people, which has been amazing, Jeff. Channel's had a nice little growth spurt here over over the last week and a half, and it's in large part to everybody who watches here, because they're doing all of this, and it's making a huge difference for us in the channel. So we,
Outstanding.
Again, yeah, we thank you. As always, guys, thank you for your support. We absolutely really appreciate it. So
look at that, nice.
That's all I have, Jeff. Do you have anything before?
That's all you got? I was going to say the same thing. Appreciate all you guys. We have the best and the brightest, the smartest in the crypto space, crypto YouTube space, right here on the chain. And we'll be back at it again tomorrow night. Hopefully I'll be able to join in from where I'm at. If not, Chip, I'll be back Wednesday.
Right on, Jeff. You'll be back in the saddle, and don't worry, I'm holding down the fort, man, until you get back. So it's all good. I'm back here at OTC Studios, and we'll definitely make sure that it happens. Either way, we'll be going live tomorrow night. That's all we have, guys. Have a beautiful rest of your weekend. Love all you guys. Thank you for your support. Much love. Chip and Jeff out. See you guys on the next one.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.